Damn.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got some goodies here from Custom Splice. Those guys stepped up, sent us some recovery gear, since I mean they see how much we use that kind of stuff, so pretty cool. You know, they seen us using one of our old metal shackles, or old metal snatch blocks, pulley, whatever you want to call it, and they said they wanted to send us some upgraded goods, so we figured we'd walk you guys through it. And if you guys haven't learned or don't know about all the differences and like the new way things are going, you know, we haven't really used too much of this synthetic stuff ourselves, so but we do know about it, we just never used it. We've always had like the metal stuff. So this is like the old style snatch block that I was talking about, and like that's how it works. So I don't know, we'll demonstrate and show you guys like the differences between that one and like the new style pulley that you would use instead. But
yeah, I think this was designed for
a winch cable.
Yeah, like cables. I mean, this is, I think these are rated pretty high, so we use for like our Jeep and days and stuff. But I don't even know if it's really made to do, you know, rope, which is what everything's going nowadays. I mean, I don't think I've ever bought them, besides way back in the day, you know, cable winches, and now everything's turned into synthetic rope.
Right.
So, I mean, Custom Splice stepped up big, and I mean, all this stuff is really cool. So they gave us, so these are just Winch Fairleads, and they're designed for, you know, a rope style. Obviously the cable ones have like rollers, so these are made for rope. So we got two of those, two different styles. This one's like a little smaller, not really sure. It says Custom Splice on the front, and this one says it on the top.
Obviously different colors, but
yeah,
so pretty cool there.
Those are pretty cool. So then we got these little guys, and you would not believe. So, well, let's first start here. I'll show you on this one first, actually. So these are like the new thing that are supposed to be like getting rid of D-rings. So the benefit to a soft shackle like this is, it is, so well, first of all, it's safer, so it's not, you know, a 5-pound
ball being weighed, yeah,
just getting flung at your face when you know, if you're winching and it breaks or whatnot. These things do float, so that's another thing. I mean, obviously a shackle or a D-ring isn't going to float.
Yeah, right. I've lost personally a couple of those.
Yeah.
Throw them to your buddy that's stuck in some poo hole somewhere,
yeah,
and the thing's just gone.
You know, and there's no pins to lose or nothing, and it's just, it's a really cool design. So they have it, it's like a, I don't even know how you make that, but the thing just kind of goes through that thing like that.
So as it gets tighter, it just locks in on itself more.
Yeah, so then once you put pressure to it, obviously it locks. You know, this gets tighter, locks around that ball, and basically it's, you know, makes itself a shackle.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, we've never used them, but we see them all over the place, and we're excited to try them out.
They're like the new big thing, and you know, everybody's going to like safer, you know, products and easier to use for the consumer, so we're really pumped to try these out.
So one other upside to those versus the metal D-ring, and we'll cut right to that and show you guys. Alright, so another cool thing to these D-rings versus, or to these shackles versus the D-ring is for when Billy rolls over again.
Yeah, actually this is, so this could be for rollovers, or let's say you get a, you know, a flap.
Yeah,
and you need to winch yourself over, you know, have somebody else winch. So these will go, you know, this is a pretty key spot here that I've used. Flip myself back over. So, I mean, it fits on your cage. So then you can just hook right up. You know, no need for like a tree saver strap that's going to be 3 feet long.
Yeah, plus, I mean, it's just like a faster recovery. So we've seen people like hold these, they'll just hook these around like a cage bar.
Yeah, I mean, I could literally just, you know, have this here
So you could have it chilling there, and if you know, if your buddy rolls or something, I mean, it's one less component. You don't need like a tree saver that you gotta grab out of your, you know, tailgate or whatever, or your trunk.
I mean, a really good thing, I even think I said it in the last video, where I'm like, something's gonna hit me in the head, is I just have, you know, D-rings sitting on the floor around my straps. I mean, that's a couple pound
yeah, probably not the best idea.
There, so if you roll, it'll just hit you in the teeth and you're done. You know, and like down here, you know, like this is how we rolled my rig over last time. You know, just cinches up onto that.
And obviously, I mean, we didn't say it, but you know, when you're hooking like your winch or some point to this, you know, try and hook to like this coated part of the rope actually. Just, I mean, that's the best part to hook to for sure.
Yeah, real, you know, less abrasive. So it won't want to like fray. But yeah, I mean, these things are really cool. We're super pumped to try them out. They'll definitely get used, that's for sure. Yeah,
no doubt. All right, so now that we talked about like the uses, Billy's gonna run down like the ratings of them. It's
so
it's absurd.
Like we said, you know, these are waterproof too. I mean, look at how small this is compared to like, you know, this one or even like a winch rope.
They're both quarter inch.
It is quarter inch, yeah. So these actually have a rating. This blew my mind. So these are 15,000 pounds is what they're rated for. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, we're definitely gonna have to try it. But
so in theory, we should be able to pick up this skid loader with it, with a crane.
Yeah, with just one of these, just right onto the roof, and just lift it right up.
It's pretty wild, but I mean that is awesome. You know, something so small and so little that you could keep in your dang pocket.
Yeah, you could.
It's literally rated for that much weight, but.
Yeah, so those are quarter inch ones, and like we said, they're rated for 15,000 pounds, and I believe on their website they're specified as like the ATV.
Yeah, they're
style.
ATV, UTV ones.
So
they sent us a couple of those, since obviously that's mainly what we run is ATV and UTVs.
Yeah.
But they also sent us some of these ones.
Yeah, so then these ones are half-inch ones, which these are the big daddies. And these are rated for 64,000 pounds.
And these are actually for like, they call them, you know, obviously when you're calling these ratings, you don't want to think about it as like, my ATV only weighs, you know, or my side-by-side only weighs 1,500 pounds. You got to think about how much force it's taken to pull that thing out of said mud bog.
Yeah, bogged down, you know, like, that's like a big thing when you're looking for a winch too, you know, like all side-by-sides. So we'll give an example, like my side-by-side I think is 1,700 pounds, I believe. And I have a 3,500 pound winch on it, which I have needed more. So that's, I mean, we'll get to what you can use to compensate that, but I mean, in theory, you know, oh, it only weighs 1,700 pounds, it could pull me out no problem, but when the thing's buried in the bog, it's
taking a lot more force.
Pressure, yeah. And I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'm sure you could use this as well as like, you know, you could hook this up to your Kinetic Rope, you know, like a DRing.
Yeah.
And obviously that's going to be more force at that one given time, you know, so that's probably why they're designed to hold so much weight, you know, for yanking and whatever else you want to do with them. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
It's just a D-ring. It's a D-ring that's made out of rope.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so we're pretty pumped about them for sure. So we got 4 of those. We got 2 half-inch ones, 2 quarter-inch ones. Then they did send us, so I don't know if it's even been talked about, but why are these green? Why is this green?
So I did say it back in the beginning when we were talking about a name, but I'm going with like green accents on the X3.
It doesn't have anything to do with the name.
No, but when we were thinking of a name, I was trying to think of something. But Trader is the name that sticks. So,
yep, that's a great name.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good.
So yeah, so he's going with green accent. So I mean, they were cool enough. I don't even think you told them you were going green. They just watched one of our videos and just seen it, and you know, it's pretty cool that they sent us a green one just for his machine, which we are gonna put this on, but right now, so it won't be on this next trip, but after that, got some goods coming for it, which we have to take some stuff apart for, and it'll be easier to get at the winch. So we're definitely gonna be throwing this on. So
same thing. Sorry to interrupt, but same thing with one of these Fairleads. I'm gonna throw one on. I just don't. It's hard to get to the nuts where it is now, and I gotta pull the front end of the machine apart soon after this trip, anyways. So I am gonna run one of those Fairleads, the black one, and then this green winch rope.
Yeah. So then this winch rope too, It floats, which I don't know if those float or not, but I mean,
yeah,
that's
and those are
cool.
both like the Warren winch ropes, which, I mean, those are good ropes as well, but these are really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat this. This is good quality stuff too.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
like my winch rope, I think I've had it on there for maybe a year.
Yeah, a good year at least.
A little over a year. And
Yeah.
it's definitely seen some, it's starting to fray, and I don't know, it's getting kind of cruddy, so I'm probably going to end up throwing the black one on mine. And mine's actually 3/16, where these are 1/4 inch.
Yeah,
so it'll be a little more, a little more strength as well. So being 1/4 inch, these are rated for 8,000 pounds. So, like Justin's winch is a 5,500 pounds, so I mean, we're way safe on our weight ratings.
Yeah, it should be more than enough capacity.
Yeah, and then if you do use like a snatch block, obviously you're going back to yourself anyway, so it's basically doubling the rope as well, so then you're at 16,000 pounds.
Right,
So,
and that leads us into our next thing. And if you guys don't know this, I mean, I'm sure some of you guys do, but I don't know if they still call it a snatch block. I know that's what this is called, but this is more or less just like a pulley.
so yeah, so this is really cool. I mean, this is the old style. So you got this big 20-pound clunk thing. So so this is like the, I don't know, the new big thing, I guess. But this is specifically made for, I presume it's made for the smaller rope too, no, judging by the size. So this is probably like their UTV one. I'm not sure if I've seen any other ones on their site.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could be
either.
wrong though. I don't know. You'd have to hook
I'm
them.
sure they have bigger ones rated for more weight.
Yeah.
Ones. So that's
Yeah.
probably a UTV one.
So it's only designed for, synthetic rope. It's not designed for cable or anything of that sort. So to use this, I mean, it's pretty nifty. So instead of, having to go through and to get this thing, so to use one of these, you got to go like through here, but you can't do that before you put the winch line through like this, because then it like closes itself. Then you got to do this, and I don't know, they're kind of a pain in the ass. It's obviously big and bulky to carry. So you got this little guy, just slide this unit through.
Hook it to your tree, or your tree sling.
Yeah, or like we were talking, you could hook it to your cage if you were trying to winch yourself over or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just put your winch through and go around it, and then it'll just spin on the soft shackle. Which, I mean, it's about as simple a design as you could possibly get, but I mean, hey, whatever works for you.
Yeah, right.
Guess. I mean, we've never tried one, so and we've used, I could count 10 times we've had to use that,
Yeah,
just
for
for
sure.
for weird recoveries.
Yeah, and we're gonna put together a couple scenarios if you guys haven't really used it too much, or I'm sure a lot of you guys know these kind of tricks and stuff, but I'm sure some of you guys don't, so it's kind of cool to just share little tips and tricks that we know. So we're gonna throw together a couple scenarios on when you would want to use like the pulley or snatch block type thing. So
Yeah, and I mean, even like the soft shackles, I remember when I first seen one, it was actually at S'more. It was the first time I ever used one, and I felt like an idiot because I didn't have a clue. I'm like, what is this weird ass thing?
yeah, for real.
But now it just makes so much sense to me, and I mean, it's just really easy to use. So then, now that we've explained all that, and like he said, we'll get back and show you how, some different scenarios. But the last thing they sent us is it's actually a kinetic rope. And so kinetic rope means that it's able to stretch like 30% of its length, is what I think. I know it's 30% of something, but it stretches.
Yeah.
And then so, let's say, he's bogged out in a mud hole and Ticky's got to come rescue him, which happens often.
Yeah, bet.
So if I got to pull him out, if we hook two straps to each other, or even the winch, I've encountered multiple times where I've hooked my winch up and I'm like, man, I don't want to, just yank on my winch cable or whatever. Or even a strap, because if it doesn't want to go, you're stopping and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
So the kinetic rope, the cool thing about that is it stretches. So, you'll be pinned and it'll get tight, and then it'll actually stretch and get rid of the whole shock load of
and it like absorbs the kinetic energy.
Yep.
And it uses that.
And then it'll use it to just like pop out of the hole. I don't know. It's really cool.
We've never used one, but we've seen videos and we know the theory. And we're pretty freaking excited to try one out. I mean, it just seems like a mind-boggling experience to hook up to something and just send it.
Yeah, I mean, like if you've watched like a couple examples, would be like the Ultimate Adventure. They use a similar rope, and you can see them, you know, full wick, and they'll just bounce, and it's just like, whoop, and it comes out, and it's just like mind-boggling because you know I've been using straps and chains and stuff my whole life. And it's just rough.
Yeah, it's just, and it's really hard on the equipment too. Like, not only is it violent on yourself, where if something broke, you know, a chain, which is just pretty stupid all in general.
Yeah.
But like if a strap breaks and you're using an old D-ring, because of all that extra force, you've got that, you know, whatever's hooked to the end of it coming back at you.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary thought. So we're really excited. We're hoping we can try it out soon. I don't see any scenario we could make here to make it.
Ticky might just have to go full bog at Tackett Creek for us.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, maybe. Just to see how it works, because I'm curious. So they sent us a 3/4 rope. I think it's 20 feet long. It's rated at 18,000 pounds.
It's crazy.
Which is, pretty wild. So
this is actually like a truck or Jeep, you know, rope.
Yeah, I mean,
and
they
obviously
have a lot bigger ones too.
Yeah. I mean, I think their biggest one is 1 inch. So if you guys are like wheeling full size rigs or something, that'd probably be the best bet to go with in case you're really buried. You can really just whale on that thing and know you're in good hands.
And another cool thing, like straps. So that's another thing, like thinking back to Windrock, he got stuck in a mud hole. I think it was on video. You know, we launched a strap out of the bed of his rig and it sank to the bottom of the mud hole. Well, so then I had to go fishing. This thing floats. So
all of this gear from them floats. I would assume this pulley doesn't float.
Yeah,
but
I don't think your Fairleads will float either. But
I mean, Ticky was floating at the Badlands, so I mean, if the Fairlead's attached, she should be floating.
Yeah, I mean, it's all. We're really excited. We're really, pumped to have this opportunity to test this stuff.
And we'll be sure to let you guys know how it works out. You know, what we think of everything, and as we use it, you guys will see it. You guys see our recoveries now, so we'll put it to the test.
Yeah, so we're really pumped. So stay tuned. We'll get some scenarios spooled up here quick, and we'll get back to you.
All right, so we rigged this thing up for you guys, and we're using one of the soft shackles right here around the cage. Hooked the winch straight to that. Then ran a tree saver around the tree, and then a soft shackle, and then the snatch block pulley. I should find the real name for that. Is in there. And I mean, it's really cool because we had this all rigged up already, and this is like a difference between the two, the old style and this one. And we were able to just run the winch hook through here and back up to the rig without like splitting apart the D-ring or the snatch block and all that. So.
Yeah, so this is a scenario too, just like this. I mean, this is what you would do if, let's say I got a flat tire on that side. So we'll get a little demonstration on how it works then.
Then you can winch yourself over without a jack or anything like that. And actually, hang on, and I'll show you guys quick how like the pulley and all this all operates.
Well, it's just sliding, but you get the point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not in gear, but yeah, we've done this on the trail before, and it's definitely a really handy method. If you can't get like a rig, next to you to just winch you over, or if you're riding by yourself or something, it's definitely a pretty cool little method.
Yeah, it works great. Like all them cinched up, nothing pops off. So it's really cool that it's just that simple and easy.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So we're pumped. It should help us out a lot. Faster recoveries on the trail and
safer. A lot safer. But we're gonna rig up, I think, one more thing that we, use the pulley for, and then we'll get back to you. So this is another method for using the pulley or snatch block, and you just run it, from the winch all the way back to, whatever tree you can reach. And if you're super stuck, or maybe you're pulling two rigs, this is like kind of a good method to double the strength of your winch. It's kind of a mind-blowing philosophy on on my end, but I mean it's proven, and somehow.
Yeah, so now my 3,500 pound winch turns into 7,000 pounds pulling strength, and it makes it twice as slow.
Yeah.
So it's half the speed of what it would be. And obviously, like, this isn't, I mean, we're just showing you guys, but this isn't a scenario where you need it. Could have just hooked up my winch, and I mean, I actually don't need a winch at all.
Yeah.
But so this just doubles the pulling power. So then, I mean, like right now it's in gear.
Yeah, it's dragging the machine, you know.
Yeah, and it doesn't even log, the thing's not even running.
So pretty cool. I mean, biggest thing I could think of is if you had like an underrated winch, you know, had like a heavy rig and you bought too small of a winch and the thing was struggling, you know, you could hook yourself up like this, or if you're pulling somebody up a hill with a winch, or that doesn't have a winch, you know.
Yeah, if you're pulling like dead weight too, or we've had where his oil
exactly,
off and we had to go up a hill and we had to do this route just to get up.
Yeah, because the winch was struggling by itself to pull two machines up a hill to begin with. So there's one more method that we're going to show you guys quick, and then I think that'll pretty much wrap up the video. So this is the last kind of like method or whatever that we use these pulleys or snatch blocks for. If, say for example, my rig didn't have a winch, or the winch was broken or something, and I was on the front of the trail and the guy behind you couldn't get in front of you to winch you up, or nobody else was up on the top of the hill, you know, you could pull up behind him or like off to an angle a little bit. We've actually used this method on Trail 57 once when the leader couldn't get up the hill, or we couldn't turn around the rig that was already at the top of the hill to get the winch onto him. So you just run your stuff up to a tree in front of the guy and then back to the guy who's leading, and you can, you know, pull it up just like this. So it's kind of cool. And that way it uses the pulley, gets the winch line away from my rig, and it'll pull me forward. So, I mean, I think that's about it. Is that, you got any other scenarios?
I mean, that pretty much covers,
I think we covered everything pretty good.
the majority of what we've encountered so far in our adventures.
Yeah, no doubt, which, it's a lot of adventures.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and obviously you'll see us use these methods on the trail too. And you know, we'll try to explain it a little more if we do find ourselves in these scenarios on the trail.
One other scenario I suppose that was pretty similar to this that we've used in the past was when our buddy rolled his tube chassis buggy. He had the direction he needed to be winched from. We couldn't get a rig up on the side of the hill, so we were able to like run up here to up the side of the hill. It's kind of hard to explain, but then back to his cage and you know, hook up the winch in the right direction to roll him back over.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So just our thoughts, you know, our kind of experiences as well. I'm sure we'll learn more. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped out a little bit. You know, if so, leave a thumbs up. But other than that, I just want to thank Doug over at Custom Splice for hooking us up with this stuff. We really appreciate it. If you guys need anything or want to try any of this stuff out, go on over to Custom Splice or hit him up, you know, and ask for Doug. He's who hooked us up, and we really appreciate it. And you know, we'll definitely put this stuff to the test. Things are so loud, man, every time. But thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. For any of you guys that were curious on checking out the stuff on their site, they have a lot more to offer than just what we got as well. You know, they've got their own tree savers, they've got different winch stoppers, just all kinds of different stuff, bigger straps, different ropes. And I'll throw the link in the description that gets you to their site, and you guys can browse on there. So yeah, I decided to throw that in there.
Thanks again.